Halfway number 5, Beyonce. Since Adele took home Album of the Year at the 2017 Grammys, fans are convinced that Beyonce and Adele do not like each other, mainly because they are very competitive. After Adele won in 2017 instead of Beyonce, fans were really fed up and claimed that Adele was somewhat patronizing in her acceptance speech. On that night, Adele won all 5 of the awards she was nominated for, while Beyonce only won 2 of 9 of her nominations. During her speech, Adele made sure to shout out Beyonce and say that she believed Beyonce deserved the award more. Although some fans found the moment completely genuine and heartfelt, many did not. Some fans claim that if Adele really felt that way, she should have invited Beyonce on stage to say her acceptance speech with her. Some Beyonce fans even claim that Adele could have just denied the award and forced the Grammys to give it to Beyonce. One fan tweeted after the show, quote, "Even Adele admitted that Beyonce should have won Album of the Year." Many Beyonce fans think that she did not appreciate being put on blast, and the whole thing made Adele look like a white woman's savior.
At number 4, Michelle Collins. Now this next one is kind of similar to why Oprah doesn't like Sarah Jessica Parker. As I mentioned before, Sarah has a team of people around to help her with her everyday activities. While this is very common among celebrities and other rich people, what may surprise people is how strict Sarah Jessica is with her own staff. Other celebrities have been exposed for this kind of thing in the past, like Mariah Carey being ultra mean to her staff, but this isn't something that someone would have expected from Sarah Jessica Parker, since she gives off such a kind demeanor. Turns out that she's a lot more strict than you might think, and comedian Michelle Collins exposed the actress for it. As part of her comedy skit, Michelle read some of Sarah Jessica's emails to her staff aloud, and it made people really think twice about the kind of person she really is. A lot of her demands were incredibly specific, like for example, Sarah requesting that a quote, tiny 1.75 ounce container of Vaseline with a small spoon or knife had to be made available for her children's use, and that this container couldn't be too big as to not clutter up the space. On top of that, she also requested that a quote, bottle of face wash and Neutrogena body wash be continuously replenished for her son James in his shower. Collins even read out the instructions for Sarah's kids' eye drops and how hard the kids should blink. Michelle exposed Sarah for being a behind-the-scenes diva, so maybe this had malicious intent behind it because the demands were just so ridiculous. Before we carry on talking about people who haven't been too fond of Sarah Jessica Parker, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one.
And at number 3, Bruno Mars. Singer and producer Bruno Mars had some eyebrow-raising things to say about Adele after they collaborated on her song All I Ask. He of course sang her praises for her amazing talent, but he also made sure to include that she can be a bit of a diva. He said in the interview, quote, "She's a superstar. She walks into the studio, she's got all this attitude, she's a diva, and she's like, I don't want to do this, I don't like that." Then as soon as we hit a couple chords that she liked, we started rolling, and that's where we got that song from. But of course he praised how talented that she is, saying that there is a moment that she was in the booth singing when the water started to vibrate. And of course he would love to work with her again. He said he's just waiting for her to call on him again. It's unclear if he meant that she was a diva in an endearing way, or if he meant to throw some shade her way.
At number 2, fans. Now although they aren't exactly celebrities, there is still a lot of negativity and hate amongst Sarah Jessica Parker's fans, as well as fans of Sex and the City. Many people have a number of reasons as to why they dislike the actress so much, and a lot of it stems from the character that she's known for. Carrie Bradshaw is a character that people either love or hate. Many fans say that they just can't stand her because of how unrelatable she is. They didn't like the way that the character carried herself, making everything a bigger deal than it needed to be, always being involved in some kind of petty drama, and not being very humble about her lavish life. As a result of the negative aspects of Carrie's character, some fans have linked that to Sarah Jessica Parker, and this has created a lot of hate for the actress. The other thing that people use against Sarah Jessica is her appearance. Many people online have said that they hate the actress because of the way that she looks, which really shouldn't be a factor of whether or not you like someone. I think this could be a real case of fans forgetting that the actor and the character are two different people. While yes, sometimes an actor can pick up traits from the character they play, especially if they've been playing that character for a long time, but again, that can't be a reason to hate someone. And finally at number 1, Kim Cattrall. When Sex and the City was at its peak, everyone just pretty much assumed that the leading ladies were all best friends because they looked like such close friends on TV, but years after the show and movies ended, we found out that this definitely was not the case. case. After the third movie was taken off the table because of Kim Cattrall's refusal to do the film, this is when the truth of the matter started to show and people found out about the huge feud between Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. The feud really came to a head after Cattrall's brother passed away, and Sarah Jessica Parker wrote a message of condolence to her former colleague on social media. Cattrall was not having it and didn't want any kind of sympathy from her arch enemy, and clapped back to Sarah's message by writing, quote, "Your continuous reaching out is a painful reminder of just how cruel you really were then and now. Let me make this very clear. You are not my friend. I'm writing to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona." This made it abundantly clear that there was a lot of built-up tension between the two actresses. Cattrall has addressed the fight numerous times, saying that the mean girl culture of the show is really what destroyed it and doesn't look to be close to putting this drama behind them anytime soon.
And at number 10, Damon Albarn. Musician Damon Albarn got together to collaborate on some tracks on Adele's 2015 album 25, but unfortunately it did not go as planned, and the pair ended on pretty bad terms. He even said in the interview that he will never collaborate with Adele again. In an interview with The Sun at that time, Albarn said, quote, "Adele asked me to work with her and I took the time out for her. And I'm not a producer, so I don't know what is happening really. Will she use any of this stuff? I don't think so. Let's wait and see. The thing is, she's very insecure and she doesn't need to be. She's still so young." Albarn also described her new music as middle of the road. Following his interview, Adele clapped back, saying, quote, "It ended up being one of those don't meet your idol moments. The saddest thing was that I was such a big Blur fan growing up, but it was sad and I regret hanging out with him." Albarn later clarified in a different interview that his words were taken out of context and they were misinterpreted to sound mean. But that kind of seems like BS to me, and it's clear the pair did not like each other. And at number 9, Jamie Oliver. Celebrity chef Jamie Oliver got in a strange feud with Adele after he made some comments about breastfeeding. Oliver spoke about the topic during a radio interview where he said, quote, "The UK has the worst breastfeeding in the world," and saying, quote, "It's easy, it's more convenient, it's more nutritious, it's better, it's free." But this did not sit well with Adele, and during a concert Adele responded saying, quote, "The pressure on us is effing ridiculous, and all those people who put pressure on us can go F yourselves, right? Because it's hard. Some of us can't do it." Following the comments, fans put 2 and 2 together, and Oliver got backlash for mansplaining a woman's issue. And at number 8, Matt Doran. Adele got into a feud with reporter Matt Doran after it was reported that she stormed out of their press interview for her new album once he admitted that he didn't listen to the album in full. Australia's Daily Telegraph revealed that Channel 7's Matt Doran came to London specifically for this 20 to 30-minute interview in an over $600,000 deal. Reportedly halfway through the interview, Adele noticed that he was struggling to express an opinion of his own. Then she flat out asked if he had listened to the album. And when he said no, she walked off and ended the interview early. Sony later refused to allow footage of the interview to be used, and Doran was suspended for 2 weeks. This embarrassing blunder then went viral, with Adele fans roasting Doran online for days. However, Doran later exposed that the whole story was a lie and he was never kicked out of the interview. Rather, the conversation actually went overtime. Doran also stood by the contents of the interview and said he is, quote, "devastated that her fans are being denied this interview."
And at number 7, Paris Jackson. Kendall and Kylie got tons of backlash when they released a series of vintage t-shirts for their clothing line, and photos of legends like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, and the Doors and Ozzy Osbourne were beside their own on the shirts. Tons of celebrities called out the sisters for their tone-deaf decision, including Paris Jackson, the daughter of the late Michael Jackson. Paris took to Twitter and wrote, quote, "As a huge fan of Zeppelin, The Doors, Floyd, I mean these bands literally helped shape who I am today. I can't condone this fashion. Legends like these who completely changed our world today, not just the music world, should be respected and honored, not turned into this. Pink Floyd is not Chanel, Led Zeppelin is not Michael Kors, Metallica is not Givenchy, don't get it twisted. Hashtag bands not brands, and hashtag respect music." Along with getting tons of heat, the sisters were also slapped with multiple lawsuits, so they decided to stop selling the shirts shortly after their release.
And at number 6, Ernest Owens. Adele got major backlash after she posted a photo in Bantu knots to celebrate the UK's Notting Hill Carnival, and journalist Ernest Owens was one of the people who did not approve. In the UK, they celebrate something called the Notting Hill Carnival, where people will share their pride about being a British person with Caribbean descent. Adele shocked the world when she showed up wearing a Jamaican flag, print bikini, and Bantu knots in her hair, a style worn traditionally by black women in the region. Her shocking 100-pound weight loss was easily overshadowed by the backlash that she received, with people calling the move cultural appropriation. After waves of backlash, she told British Vogue, quote, "I didn't read the effing room." and in hindsight she completely understands why the backlash occurred. Adele also decided to not take down the photo, a move which she says was to let people know she was not trying to brush it under the rug. Owens tweeted at the time, quote, "If 2020 couldn't get any more bizarre, Adele is giving us Bantu knots and cultural appropriation that nobody asked for. This officially marks all of the top white women in pop as problematic. Hate to see it."
At number 5, Oprah. I think out of all the celebrities in Hollywood, it could easily be said that Oprah is one of the nicest. She just gives off such a warm and inviting vibe and seems to get along with so many people that it's hard to imagine Oprah actually disliking someone. But apparently in special cases, she can be a little put off by someone. And one of those people who've rubbed Oprah the wrong way is Sarah Jessica Parker. When you look up people who hate Sarah Jessica, not many people show up, so you really have to go digging. So this little beef is a bit lesser known than others, so I'll tell you about it. Back in the day when Sarah Jessica Parker was on Oprah's show for an interview, Oprah was gushing to the actress about how she's such a hard worker, being able to juggle so much in life like being a working mom. While Sarah gave her honest opinion to Oprah's praise, the talk show host really didn't like what the actress had to say. Replying to Oprah's comment about how impressive Sarah is, the actress said, quote, "I have a lot of help. I mean, I have a lot of people helping me." End quote. While it was the honest truth, because she did have people who worked for her to help her out with her everyday tasks, Oprah really didn't like the actress not being humble. Oprah really didn't like it when rich celebrities brag about the perks of being famous and having a lot of money, and so she tried pressing Sarah Jessica to get her to admit something a little more humble, but it just never really worked. The subtle brags about being able to afford so much help just rubbed Oprah the wrong way, causing her to not like Sarah Jessica Parker too much.
And at number 4, Peppa Pig. Easily the strangest beef Adele has been in was with Peppa Pig. In an Instagram Live where Adele was promoting her upcoming album 30, a fan asked if she would ever collaborate with Peppa, and Adele savagely said no. Then later on during an interview with Cattrall FM, Adele was confronted by Peppa, who called her out for the comments. The interviewers asked Adele about her comments, then showed a clip of a cartoon Peppa saying, quote, "Hello Adele, that made me really sad when you said you wouldn't collaborate with me. Why not? Don't you like me?" Adele was obviously shocked and responded, quote, "But Peppa, I regret it. I spent 3 years watching you. I really regret any time you want to go jumping in muddy puddles and sing Muddy Muddles. I'm with you, babes. I felt terrible the second I said it." So thankfully that beef was cleared up.
And at number 3, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star has been coming for Kylie publicly ever since she came out with an online makeup company that was a competitor to Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Their feud is totally one-sided, but I'm sure that Kylie has seen all the shade that Jeffree has dished out. Back when Jeffree was famous for his makeup reviews, he reviewed Kylie Cosmetics on multiple occasions, and more often than not, he trashed her products. When reviewing her over $300 brush set, he called it cheap dollar store product. Jeffree and Shane Dawson also trashed Kylie's skin in their review, where they called the products drying, irritating, and overpriced. Jeffree even shaded Kylie's Forbes cover, where she was declared the world's youngest self-made billionaire. He said, quote, "I declined the feature, so they had to pick someone."
And at number 2, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is known for his controversial opinions on news and pop culture, and his stances on Adele have gotten him in hot water. In November, Piers published a scathing rant against Adele and her decision to include her son on her latest album 30, claiming that she shared her son's heartache and pain to promote the last album. Morgan claimed it was hypocritical because Adele had fought for her son's privacy in the past. In his article, Morgan wrote, quote, "Sorry Adele, you're a great singer, but sharing your young son's heartache and pain with the entire world to flog your album is shameful and the rankest hypocrisy." Morgan claimed that Adele asked for privacy when it comes to her separation and other personal matters, but then she turns around and exposes those intimate details when it serves her to promote and sell albums. In his article, Morgan wrote, quote, "All this hypocrisy is par for the course with today's oversharing celebrities who love to reveal every prudent detail of their lives for commercial gain while simultaneously demanding privacy," adding, quote, "This is the same Adele who went to court to protect her son's privacy when he was just 1, winning him a substantial 5-figure sum in damages over paparazzi photographs." And finally, number 1, Simon Konecki. I'm sure that Adele's ex-husband does not hate her, but I'm sure he's not pleased with some of the things that she shared about their marriage in the press or on her latest album. In September of 2019, Adele filed for a divorce from Konecki. When speaking about the marriage, she told Vogue, quote, "I was just going through the motions and I wasn't happy. Neither of us did anything wrong, neither of us hurt each other or anything like that. It was just, I want my son to see me really in love and be loved. It's really important to me." Then when she approached her 30s, she felt she wanted more out of life than what she had at the time. The divorce was hardest for her 9-year-old son, Angelo. Adele added, quote, "He had so many simple questions for me that I can't answer because I don't know the answer." Adele also shared that she thinks her son might hate her for her decision later in life.
At number 10, Keke Palmer. So many people have opinions on the Kardashians. The way they look, the way they act, their business, everything. A lot of people don't like them for a number of reasons, but actress Keke Palmer has blatantly come out and talked about why she dislikes the Kardashians, specifically Kylie. Keke has shown sympathy in the past for Kylie because of the insecurities that Kylie has professed, but Keke isn't too fond of how Kylie went about dealing with those insecurities. A lot of the Kardashians show off their appearances all the time, and many of them have had plastic surgery, but Keke doesn't seem to like that Kylie flaunted how she changed her appearance like her sisters. The actress believes that Kylie went about dealing with her insecurities in the wrong way, and she hates the fact that she's been praised for this paid glow-up. In an interview, Keke spoke out about all of this where she said, quote, "In the sense of the Kardashians, it's like, I'm going to show you so much perfect and be everything a woman should be or everything a man would like or love. Specifically in the situation of Kylie, where you've had a young girl people have seen on television since she was a kid and they literally told her she was so ugly, the ugly person in the family. She went and did apparently everything the world deemed as beautiful. The even crazier part is that everybody loves her for it." End quote. Keke has deemed Kylie inauthentic, and that's why she dislikes her so much.
And at number 9, Kylie Minogue. Before there was Kylie Jenner, Kylie Minogue was the most famous Kylie. But in 2015, Jenner tried to trademark the name Kylie and Minogue fought back. The Australian pop star shaded Jenner when she tried to trademark their first name. According to the US Patent and Trademark Office, in 2015 Jenner tried to register Kylie in the US for advertising services and endorsement services. But Kylie Minogue's team filed their own charges to ensure the trademark did not go through. Minogue claimed it would, quote, "damage her own reputation." In the legal documents, Minogue's team classified Jenner as a, quote, "secondary reality television personality known for her, quote, photographic exhibitionism and controversial posts on social media." Very savage. Then Minogue tweeted, quote, "Hello, my name is Kylie, #lightyears," insinuating that she was here way before Jenner. After this whole debacle, it's clear the two do not like each other.
At number 8, Maddison Beer. There are a handful of people in Hollywood who have their grievances with Kylie's beauty brand. In the past, she's been accused of copying the same packaging as Jeffree Star's makeup brand, but she's also had some beef with Maddison Beer because the singer accused Kylie of stealing Maddison's purple palette idea from back in 2017. In October of 2017, Kylie released her purple palette from her Kylie Cosmetics brand, and soon after the collection was made public, Maddison shaded Kylie on Instagram, alleging that Kylie betrayed her. Maddison posted on Instagram saying, quote, "When people fully steal your idea and they come out with what was supposed to be a collab, whack," end quote. Though the collab between Maddison and Kylie was never confirmed, Maddison appeared to have hinted at it back in March of 2017 when talking to paparazzi. I could imagine how hurt you would feel if you worked on something just for it all to fall through with you but still be sold. That would be a serious punch to the gut. When a follower called Maddison out on being salty about the whole ordeal and that she didn't invent purple eyeshadow, the singer clapped back saying, quote, "You sound very unintelligent. Who in their right mind would think they invented an eyeshadow color or shade? That is not at all in any way what I said or even slightly implied," end quote. Apparently, Kylie and Maddison were friends before all of this happened, so I wonder if they're over it now or if that ruined their friendship.
And at number 7, Taylor Swift. This is another feud that we're not sure is real or not, but it seems there's been some shade thrown between these two singers for years. After Adele beat out Taylor for a Golden Globe in 2013, Adele made a bit of a shady dig when Adele jokingly said that she's a squad, but they aren't models, clearly taking a dig at Taylor's model squad. Then this year it was reported that Taylor Swift was furious that Adele might be stepping into pop music with her new album. A source said, quote, "Taylor Swift is not happy that Adele is apparently taking a new direction for her next album, because it means that she could be stealing her pop princess crown." Apparently, Swift is giving no help to Adele with this potential crossover either. The source added, quote, "Should this rivalry go public, it's going to get messy. It's probably best for Taylor to keep her copycat concerns to herself."
At number 6, Selena Gomez. Another celebrity who seems to have had beef with Kylie is former Disney star Selena Gomez. Turns out that Selena had an on and off again friendship with the Jenner sisters, and it all stemmed from Justin Bieber. During the time that Selena and Justin were a thing, Selena started feeling a little iffy about Kylie specifically because she thought that Kylie was flirting with Justin. Selena and Kylie apparently got into a confrontation in 2014 because of it, and it all went down at Justin's house. According to sources, what happened that evening was that Kylie allegedly, quote, sent sexy pics of herself to Justin, and that's what started the fight. Selena saw the pictures on Justin's phone and she freaked out and immediately left, end quote. The source also commented on the Jenner sisters saying, quote, Kylie and Kendall live in such a fantasy world with what the show has turned their family into. At the end of the day, Selena was just there to be a part of the show and enhance their brand rather than being legit friends. Thankfully, Selena realized that she was being used and got out, end quote. Some sources also claim that Selena stopped being friends with the Jenners because of their use of substances, drinking, and partying, but the Jenners have denied those claims.
Halfway number 5, Lourdes Leon. Lourdes Leon, daughter of Madonna, dissed Kylie after Lourdes was invited to Kylie's birthday party in 2015. Apparently, she finds the Kardashian family vile and was horrified about the invite. A source revealed that Lourdes shaded Kylie over her social media activity and selfie taking. After she received the invite, a source exposed, quote, she couldn't believe Kylie thought that she'd be receptive to a party invite and has completely ignored her. As far as Lourdes is concerned, she's not going to lower herself to even responding. Adding that Lourdes is very picky about who she spends her time with, and Kylie doesn't make the cut. The source added that Lourdes' friends are, quote, much more interested in changing the world than in taking selfies. And in my opinion, you must really hate someone if the thought of them inviting you to their birthday leaves you horrified.
At number 4, Amber Rose. The Kardashians have caused a lot of tension in the past in case of their relationships. There's been so much drama with cheating, rumors, babies, and so much more, so it's not surprising to know that Kylie is hated because of relationship quarrels. Amber Rose has had some harsh things to say about Kylie in the past, especially when it came to her relationship with rapper Tyga. Tyga had left Blac Chyna, the mother of his son, for Kylie, and Amber did not approve of that at all. During a radio interview, Amber spoke out about that drama when she said, quote, she's a baby, she needs to go to bed at 7 o'clock and relax. That's ridiculous. Tyga should be ashamed of himself. That's how I feel, for sure. He has a beautiful woman and a baby and left that all for a 16-year-old who just turned 17, end quote. Amber wasn't the only one to comment on Kylie and Tyga's relationship, but her commentary definitely had some heat. At number 3, Robert Downey Jr. Did you know that back in the 80s, Sarah Jessica Parker and Robert Downey Jr. used to date? Because for a long time, I had no idea. But yeah, they were in a long-term relationship until everything came crashing down. On the surface, it looked like they were madly in love, which in a way they were, and in one interview from back in the day, RDJ even said that he hoped to marry Sarah in the near future, but clearly that never happened. Now you might be wondering, if he wanted to marry her, then why did they end up breaking up? And does Robert really hate Sarah? Well, the reason for their breakup was Robert's substance abuse. It destroyed their relationship, and after a long time of watching Robert go through this hard time, she finally plucked up the courage to leave him. Looking back on it, Robert has said that he doesn't blame her for leaving because he treated her so badly back then. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to say that Robert actually hated Sarah, because he did have a lot of love for her when they were together, but he was the reason for the toxicity in their relationship, which certainly didn't make things very nice. Robert's father credits Sarah Jessica Parker for saving his son's life, because he said that without her, RDJ would have probably died. Their relationship was quite tumultuous to say the least, but in the years since, they've been able to reconcile and they're now good friends who've each moved on. At number 2, Amanda Stenberg. The most common scandal that the Kardashians seem to get involved in is something involving cultural appropriation. Many of the Kardashians have been accused of appropriating black culture and blackfishing, and Kylie seems to be one of the worst offenders when it comes to these things. The internet has got really fired up when Kylie was seen wearing cornrows, and actress Amanda Stenberg went off on Kylie for it. The Hunger Games actress tweeted saying, quote, when you appropriate black features and culture but fail to use your position of power to help black Americans by directing attention towards your wigs instead of police brutality or racism, hashtag white girls do it better. End quote. On top of that, Amanda also posted a video titled "Don't Cash Crop on My Cornrow," explaining that, quote, the line between cultural appropriation and cultural exchange is always going to be blurred, but here's the thing. Appropriation occurs when a style leads to racist generalizations or stereotypes where it originated but deemed high fashion, cool, or funny when the privileged take it for themselves. End quote. Amanda already took a disliking towards Kylie after that, but that didn't seem to do much because she kept posting in cornrows after that.
And finally, at number 1, Blac Chyna. There's absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that Blac Chyna hates Kylie Jenner. I think pretty much anyone would hate the woman that your boyfriend left you for. Back in 2014, Blac Chyna was in a long-term relationship with Tyga. The pair even had a son together. But that all changed when Kylie came into the picture, and Tyga left Chyna for a 16-year-old Kylie. Kylie and Tyga dated for 2 years before splitting. At this time, tons of Chyna's friends and family were shading Kylie for breaking up a family, including Amber Rose. Apparently, Kim Kardashian was even friends with Chyna while she was with Tyga, and Kim said that Chyna was devastated when she found out that Tyga was leaving her and their 3-year-old son King Cairo for Kylie. Years later, Chyna would get in a long-term relationship with Rob Kardashian, Kylie's half-brother, and have a child with him. Some even speculate that Blac Chyna got with Rob purely out of spite so she could make Kylie's life hell.